Hello everyone. Good evening. Can somebody please confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah, hi Aishwarya. Very good evening.
Yeah. Hi, Amir sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. So we'll start with the webinar. Okay. So first of all, very good evening to everyone. I would like to thank everyone who has joined this webinar. Okay. My name is Aishwarya. I am the one of the resources of Learnomate Technologies. So basically, uh, we all are here to attend the AWS webinar. So I'll just quickly give you a introduction of our trainer. Our trainer name is Amaya sir. He has more than 15 years of experience into training, and along with that, he has been working with various companies which is related to AWS only. He has provided the trainings on various platforms, and he has been doing the sessions with multiple companies. Along with that, he is providing the AWS related knowledge to various courses, colleges as well. So I hope everyone will be having the session. Sir?
Hey Aishwarya, thank you. Yep, I'm here. Thank you for introduction. Do you want to wait 2-3 minutes or we can start? Hello. Are you there? Aishwarya, you're not audible. Yep, now I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible now.
Yeah, sir. We can start with the session now.
Okay. So hello everyone, very good evening. Okay, so now let's get started. So in last session, if you remember, okay, then I have already introduced myself. Aishwarya again today introduced me. So basically, I'm the Amazon authorized instructor. Okay. So I till now I completed more than 100 plus AWS training. So my main bread and butter is AWS. My job profile, my daily job role is to implement the technology, implement the service, implement the security on different cloud platform. So when I say the cloud platform, it means that's the AWS, Azure, that's in Microsoft, GCP, that's in Google, OCI, that's in Oracle, and in China, that's the Alibaba, because they have their own compliances. So that's the reason Alibaba is more famous in China, but rest of the world, the AWS is on the top. I can say they have a highest market share. So quickly, just want to ask, who was there in the last session, in the last demo? Can you just give me a thumbs up or yes, or you can type on chat yes, that you are there. I can see there are many people who was there in last session. You can just give me a thumbs up if you are there. No reply. Any folks? Okay, Rohit said yes. What about other folks? Akash, Ajinkya, Ishwar. Okay, Naveen said this is the first. Okay. Karan, Mohan, Rudul, Mukesh, Naveen, Niket, Nisha, Prashant, Rita, Rohit, Sandeep, Saili, Sudhir, Tushar. You are there in my last session. This is your first session. If it is first session, can you please type that it is the first session? Or if it is second, you can just type. So based on number, I can revise something as well. So your message is very important for me. Okay, Ajinkya was there. What about other folks? I got a 3 reply. First session, Karan. Okay. It also say first. What about other folks? 5 reply. 6 reply. Satish also said first session. Last 10-second, folks. Your reply is helpful for me. Come on, folks. Okay, you're also first session. Come on, folks. I'm waiting for your reply. Okay, no problem. Let's get started. So now, folks, here we are here to attend the AWS, right? So now before the AWS, right? I mean to say the AWS is everything is on the cloud. So cloud, it means what? Anything which you can access over the intranet or nothing, or intranet or internet, that's nothing but a cloud, right? So now I'm just asking you a few questions to everyone. Right? So if you see on the screen, here you can see, this is the Ola or Uber, okay? And now let's say this is my personal car. Okay, so here you can see there are two type of car. One is Uber, Ola, and second one is your personal car. Now, folks, what do you think? Right? What benefits you will get if you are using the Ola and Uber instead of your personal car? This question is for everyone. That what do you think? What benefits you will get if you are using the Ola and Uber instead of your personal car? What do you think? Can anyone answer? Now, the first thing is that we will get the driver. So whenever you book the car, obviously we will get the driver, so we don't need to drive the car. So what do you think? What benefits you will get if you are using the Ola and Uber instead of your personal car? Everyone. So Rita said that the no worried about the maintenance. Exactly the correct. So whenever you are using the Ola and Uber, so you don't need to maintain the car. Now, for an example, if you have your own car, then you need to book the service, right? In your service station or the showroom service center. And whenever it completes 6 months or 1 year or the 10,000 kilometers, you need to have your services. And there is also another maintenance that is called the running maintenance. Now in running maintenance, what happens? So if you are going somewhere and your tire got punctured, then if you are using your personal car, then obviously you are the responsible person. But if you are traveling through the Ola and Uber, then the obviously Ola Uber driver never said that, okay, pay me the $50 more because you are traveling, and while you are traveling, the car got punctured. So obviously it is an Ola and Uber responsibility. So Rita, you are correct. The maintenance part. What about other folks? Okay. Ivan, correct. Any other folks? What do you think? What benefits? Only the maintenance? No need to drive? Right. Current, exactly. Parking space, cost. Now, city, like Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, we have a very big problem. That is the parking space. In case if you are traveling through the Ola and Uber, then obviously you don't need to park the car, right? But in case if you are traveling with your personal car, then you are the responsible for the parking the car. And even though you also need to purchase or you also need to require some secure place to park your car always, right? It means you also need to think about the physical theft as well, physical damage as well. In case of Ola, you don't require that. So absolutely correct. Satish said that no need to investment. Exactly correct. Now, when I say no need investment, it means what? This Ola and Uber, it's a pay as you go services, right? So when I say pay as you go, it means what? Today you travel 10 kilometers, then you just need to pay the 10-kilometer charges. But for your personal car, you need to purchase the entire, you need to purchase the entire, car. I mean to say, you need to pay everything. So that's the one-time investment, and that's a huge investment. But here in Ola or Uber, it's just some pay as you go. It means what? Even though if you install the application on your mobile phone, there is no any additional charges. You will get update, you will get everything for that application. But whenever you consume the service, then only you need to pay the cost. What else, folks? No insurance and regular paperwork. That's it. Because it's a completely pay as you go service. Right, Ritesh? What else, folks? What do you think? What benefits you will get if you are using the Ola and Uber instead of your personal car? What do you think? Anyone? Anyone? Any other folks? What do you think? Last 10 seconds. Okay. We can pay which one car model we are using, SUV or 4 seats. Exactly, Satish. Your answer is correct. This is what I'm looking. It means what? We can upgrade and we can degrade it, right? It means what? Today, let's say you're traveling single person. Obviously, we book the micro or mini. Why? Because we have a less requirement. But now, in case if you're traveling with the family, 4 or 5 people, then obviously that time micro car is not sufficient. What we require is we require a bigger car like an SUV and other things. So here in the Ola and Uber, we can book the higher version of car, right? And we just need to pay as you go services. Then second thing, right, is sorry, my bad. Second thing is that let's suppose day after tomorrow again you're traveling alone, right? So again, you don't need to use the SUV. You can degrade your services. So it means what? Whenever you want, you can upgrade it, and whenever you want, you can degrade the service as well, and you just need to pay as you use it. Now, why I'm saying, giving, saying this information in middle of the AWS session, because you can think this Ola and Uber is nothing but your AWS, right? Your Ola and Uber is completely your AWS, and here you can see that this your personal car is nothing but your on-premises environment, right? So we will get a similar benefit here. What exactly? So as you said, that first maintenance. So obviously, if you have the on-premises environment, right? So you require a maintenance, your regular maintenance, right? Your upgradation devices, right? After 1 year or 2 year. Then, so these are the what scheduled maintenance. And there is also another maintenance that is called on-running maintenance. So let's say your hard disk, your network equipment, okay, your Cat5, Cat6 cables, anything you also need to, manage. But in case here, this Amazon Web Services, it means what? Everything is managed by the AWS. There is no kind of maintenance here, right? Then second, okay, after the maintenance, okay, you said that, right, parking space. So here you need a lot of space for your entire server racks, right? You also required cooling system. You also required electricity. You also required some additional member to manage that. Again, software licenses and everything. It means you require a lot of space and some other licensing part. But here in AWS, you just require a browser and you just require internet connection. That's it. And through that, you can manage your entire network remotely or using the cloud. So here we space a lot of cost. Okay, obviously in your space, your offices, electricity, cooling, everything. Then Satish, sorry, my bad. Sorry. Then, Satish also say that no need for investment. Why? Because it's an pay-as-you-go services. Now, let's suppose here what happened exactly. So let's say you are working with QA team. Now, what happened? Let's say you go to the your network administrator or server administrator and say that you want to test one application, and to test that application, you require one, let's say, Red Hat server with 2.4 gigahertz, let's say 16 GB of RAM and 40 GB hard disk. Now, in case of on-premises environment, obviously you need to buy that specific hardware and software as well. Obviously, for procurement, it takes a lot of time to procure that devices. And now, let's say after 4 or 5 days, you got your devices in your hand, right? You start working, start testing on it. And after next week, right? After next week, what happened that you feel that, no, okay, I also want to test my application on 2 GB RAM, because some of my customer is also using the hardware, which is 2 GB RAM. And obviously I want to check whether my application is compatible with 2 GB RAM or not. So you approach to your team that, okay, now I want to degrade the hardware from 16 GB RAM to 2 GB RAM. Now it means what? Again, procurement. Again, you need to purchase the purchase the hardware and install it, and then you start using. But by contrast, in AWS or the cloud, you just need to start or launch the virtual machine like EC2, and that you can launch within a 1 or 2 minutes. And that person can access those virtual machine within across the world, anything from anywhere. It's available 24/7, and you don't need any manage any hardware, because why? You are just accessing the virtual machine over the cloud. So you deploy it, you test it, and if you feel that, okay, earlier it was a 16 GB, now you want to degrade to the 2 GB, then hardly it will take 2 minutes to degrade the hardware from the 16 GB RAM to 2 GB RAM. And now here the main benefit is that let's suppose for the machine which you get, that's in 16 GB RAM, Red Hat, or let's say the 2.4 gigahertz processor, 40 GB hard disk, let's say it's cost you earlier in AWS, it's let's say $1 per hour, for an example. But now as you degrade the hardware, it means what? You need to pay less money. So it might be 0.75 cents. So here you also save 25 cents as well. But in case of on-premises, obviously here, no matter whether you use that hardware or not, you already paid the charges. So whether the hardware is used 100% or 1%, you need to pay the same cost. But exactly the contrast in AWS, you just need to pay as you go, right? It's a pay as you go services. Then, as you said that here, okay, right? As I said, Satish said, we can pay which one car model we are using, SUV or 4-seat. That this is what. So you can, you can use this AWS, right? So whenever you want, you can upgrade the hardware, and whenever you want, you can degrade the hardware as well. It is a completely depend upon you how exactly you use it. So these are the benefits of any organization if they are using the cloud, right? So you can save almost more than 70-80% cost if you are using these cloud products. So that's the reason, nowadays every organization, they either they already moved to the cloud or they are planning to migrate the cloud, right? So once you understand the AWS solution architect, you can apply for the AWS cloud engineer, or let's say the cloud support engineer, or even those cloud administrator as well. So you can apply to the different positions. Make sense, folks? Why exactly we require the product? Because first, I feel that first let's clear the why. Why exactly the AWS or any cloud? So no matter whether you are in which field, whether you are QA development or let's say productions or some data engineer, database manager, you understand at least any one cloud. I'm not saying that you will have to understand AWS, but at least one cloud is very important. Now, reason why exactly the AWS is on the top, the reason is that AWS is the first company, who introduced such a service to the market. And another thing is that AWS directly born to the cloud. Other product like an AWS or let's say the Oracle or any, they adopt the technology. But now here, the AWS directly born in the cloud, so their hardware support is greater than the any other product. The second position, that's Azure. Now, why exactly they hold the second position? Because obviously they have a very good customer base, and for them it is very easy to migrate from the on-premises to the cloud. That's the reason. AWS hold the first, and Microsoft hold the second position, and then third, Google, which is little late in the market, but they are also doing very good in specifically for the AI and ML as well. Make sense, folks? I hope why is clear now. You can just type yes, no. Everyone, can I expect your reply, or you can just give me a thumbs up or anything? Thank you, Gopiraj, Rita, Satish. Other folks? Thank you, Mohan. Other folks, is it clear? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Karan. So now here, so now to understand the AWS, see, what exactly the AWS? AWS is the product. Cloud is a technology, but AWS is a completely product. And to understand that product, AWS designed a different syllabus here. So you can see that here you have a foundational, right? Then here you also have, you have foundational level, you have the associate level, you have the professional level, you also have a specialty as well. So here you have a different okay, syllabus, or I can say different certification. So now here you can see, right? So in foundational, you have a two thing. One is a cloud practitioner foundational, and second one is AI foundational, AI practitioner foundation. So this AI practitioner foundational, data engineer, and machine learning, these are latest certifications which AWS offer. Now, if you see here, right, let's say if the AWS is alien for you, right? If the AWS alien for you or a cloud is completely new for you, then you can start your journey with AWS Cloud Practitioner Foundation. Why? Because here you will understand the basic information about the AWS, basic information about what exactly the cloud, and basic information about the foundational service of the AWS. When I say foundational service, it means like authentication authorization, that is IAM, storage, that's an S3, virtualization, it is EC2, networking is in VPC, and the RDS, that is in databases. So understand here the basic foundational of the cloud. And if you want to start your journey only for the AI practitioner, then here you will also understand the basic information about the AWS, some foundational services, and also the basic information about the different AI services which is available in the AWS. For example, Amazon Bedrock, Nova, then also and Canvas. These are the different services. Then, if you can see here the solution architecture, one of the most demanding certification. Now, why any classes, even though Learnomate, why exactly they promote the AWS solution architecture? There is also reason. Now, in solution architect, okay, we will cover the entire foundational service in a very deep manner. Okay, so when I say the foundational, right? When I say the foundational, it means what? All the important services, like IAM, like the S3, like an EC2 container, that is also in a deep level. So once you clear the solution architect, you are eligible to apply on a different position. As I mentioned, that the cloud engineer, cloud administrator, the architectures, or even though you can work on the databases, networking, you can apply anywhere. And once you understand the solution architect associate, it is very easy for you to jump to any other. Let's say, okay, you want to jump to the developer, or let's system operational, or even though let's say some AI tools. Because as I said that this AWS is what? It's a product. We are here gathered to understand the product here. So there is a question from Ishwar. So what is the difference between Salesforce and Azure? These are two different things, right? So Salesforce, it's what? It is a completely CRM. Okay, it is a completely CRM based product, right? So CRM, it means customer relationship management. So that Salesforce help business to manage the customer interaction, sales, marketing, automation, customer support. No, so these are the number one, I can say, ticketing system. AWS is a completely different, right? Which provide infrastructure and platform on the cloud. As I say that it provide a compute, it provide the storage, database, networking, machine learning, security, and everything. So in Salesforce, you might aware about Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud. These are different type of the product, and AWS is a completely different. So these are two different product. Got it, Ishwar?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So I was saying about these are the certification, like, so guys, if you have a question, you can type or you can speak. If not, you can please mute yourself. Aniket, do you have any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, you were talking about upscaling and downscaling, that AWS give that flexibility to upscale and downscale. So is this
Yes,
something someone can be doing on regular interval? For example, maybe the application, the traffic is kind of low, you downscale at higher traffic moments, you upscale. Is it when
correct,
you mean on the pay on the go, do you mean it can be upscaled and downscaled frequently?
correct, correct. So based on the requirement, right? For an example, let me give you an example. Let's say today you create one blog, let's say some video blog or something, and you upload it on your website. And your website is hosting on your laptop or let's say on some server. So now let's suppose what happened, your blog is viral, right? It's a completely viral and everyone want to access your blog. Now what happened? Your server or your laptop where you configure your website, blog website, is not that much capable to manage the request. And what happened? Either all legitimate users may face extremely slow response from your website because there are hell number of people accessing your website, and due to that your server or your hardware is not that much compatible to manage the load. But if you host your application or website on the AWS, let's say on virtual machine, then what happens is that they manage the traffic as well. So in case if there is a huge load on your application or let's say your web server, then what happens? AWS upgrade themselves. And whenever there is a very less traffic, right, they can downgrade as well. For an example, a very example, you are watching some matches, let's say football match or cricket match live. Obviously, you have a many 100x load on the server. So the cloud manage everything. You got my point?
Right. Yes, thank you. I got to, it's an automated something. I thought it's something you go and manually upgrade
Yeah.
and
So
downgrade.
yeah, so you can manually as well, and even though you
Oh,
can schedule as well based on the rule that you define.
oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Satish say that in AWS system infra ticket comes from ServiceNow, Jira, or it has any default ticketing tool. See, AWS does not have any inbuilt ticketing tool, right? Like as you say that ServiceNow, Jira, it's a completely different product. So instead of that, here in AWS, you have a CloudWatch, CloudTrail, or even though you can also use a third-party tool like in Datadog, right? Or even though you can also use the product like in Splunk, which is, you can integrate that. But these tools are completely different. Make sense, Satish? Okay. Let me see. While applying job, is there any experience is required for AWS? So you must have a good hands-on on the AWS, right? Okay, as I say that the AWS is a product, right? So if you're a fresher, if you don't have don't have any kind of the experience, you just pass it out. You can also apply the fresher position like in cloud engineer, the very first step, right? Or that's an AWS engineer or let's say administrator. So yes, there is some huge jobs, or even though for any organization who is migrating to from on-premises to AWS, there also you will find that. So if you search on the Google, immediately now, Naveen, you will also get a lot of opportunity for the freshers for the AWS. Because as I said that many organizations, they already migrate to the AWS or any other cloud platform, and other company, they are slowly migrating to the cloud. Okay, Naveen, you got it? So Rita say that based on the class, which certifications are we going to take at the end? So here, Rita, these are the solution architect associate. Got it, Rita? Okay. So now folks here, then you also have a different other certification, like you have a developer associate, you also have a system administrator associate. Now, developer associate, it doesn't mean that you required any kind of, I mean to say you need to coding, right? You need to type some coding on Java, Python, no. So there are different tools which help developers to deploy their code. For an example, you might heard about CI/CD pipeline, that is continuous integration and continuous deployment. So here you will understand the different tools or the product like the code commit, code build, right? These are the tools which you understand in developer associate. Then there is a sysops who is going to manage your entire administration, right? Data engineer, let's say you are from the data analytics, data science background. Then it is very good that if you complete these data engineer associate for the AWS, because here you will understand a lot of services like Blue, Athena, or let's say some Kinesis services, which help you for the detailed analysis, data analytics, and data engineering. Then machine learning associate and specialty both are available. And once and now if you want to increase your knowledge, you want to go to the next step, you can also go with the professional as well. So in professional, here you need to deal with the very complex scenario, right? So now this DevOps engineer, it means that it is a combination of sysops and developer. But for the solution architect, it's a next step for solution architect associate, where you need to deal with a very big, large environment. So now if you have a question like, let's say, which is the top 5 most difficult certification to clear, then this AWS Solution Architect Professional is one of them, top 5. So that's the reason AWS say that, AWS say that you require at least 2-year experience, okay, before you go for this exam. It's not mandatory, it is a recommendation from the AWS. And now let's say you want to go with a very special certification, then you can also go here with the networking. Let's say you have some background like Cisco, or let's say you have some background with the firewall manager or networking. You can also definitely think for the advanced networking specialty, right? So that is also good. Or let's say you are from the AI background, okay, you can also go with the machine learning. Or even though if you are from the security background, you can also apply a security specialty. Now, when I say that the security specialty, it means only you need to secure your AWS, not any other thing. So that also, okay, so these are the entire portfolio of the AWS certification. Now, as I said that if you are alien, right, if the AWS is alien for you, then you can start with the cloud practitioner. Okay, and also and we are teaching here, okay, the backbone of entire AWS certification is solution architecture associate. So now you might have a question that Amey, you say that if the AWS is alien, then you can start the cloud practitioner, but now you're teaching the solution architect associate. So yes, so don't worry, we are also covering the cloud practitioner and the solution architect associate as well, right? And then you can apply directly to the solution architect associate certification. So folks, here it's not mandatory that, okay, first you will have to complete foundational, then associate, then professional, then specialty. No, it's not mandatory that you will have to go with this. Like, you can jump to any certification. For an example, if you take my example, I start my journey 6 years back. I mean to say the certification 6 years back with the solution architect associate. After that, I'll jump directly to security specialty, because I feel that currently the professional is not required. So I directly jump to the security specialty. Then I clear solution architect professional. Then I clear DevOps engineer professional. And then I'll also completed this data engineer, okay, associate. And recently, I also completed AI practitioner foundational. So you can jump to anywhere. That is, it's not mandatory that you will have to start from the foundational. And the best part is that, so this foundational level certification, once you clear the exam, you will get 3-year certifications from whether it is the foundational, associate, professional, or specialty. So it's a 3-year certification validation. And the cost for the foundational is $100, associate is $150, professional is $300, and specialty is also $300. But let's say you directly jump to the solution architect associate, which costs you $150. Okay. Now what happened is oops, sorry. My bad. So now what happened exactly? You pay $150, right? Then you pass the exam, you will get 3 years of certification. And now let's suppose you are going for the next exam, let's say for an example, security, or let's say solution architect professional. So the actual exam cost is 300, but here you clear the exam. So AWS provide you 50% coupon code that you can apply to the next exam, right? So here the exam cost, earlier it is something $300. Now it's a $150. Make sense, folks, on the part of the certification? Is that clear? Everyone? Any doubt, any question? You can type or you can speak. Any question, folks, here?
Please, sorry, I have a question. These certificates, how long is it viable? Like,
Sorry, this
how long?
certificate what?
Yeah, does it expire after insurance?
Yes, 3-year validity. You can renew your
Oh,
certification after every year because it's a technology
so,
certification. And every technology certification, they have
okay.
the validity.
Okay.
So here, folks, you will also get, these are the exam guides. The link is already shared. So you'll get this PDF file. So they, I'm going to, and I mean to say the training is start on the AWS Solution Architecture Associate. And for this certification, you don't require any programming knowledge required. They are just saying that basic programming concepts, but that will teach you. But here you don't require any kind of coding. Let's say Java, Python, C, or something else that is not required to achieve this solution architect associate. If you go with any other certification, like say developer or let's say machine learning, you require some basic programming or even though some programming knowledge. But for the solution architecture, you don't require to be a developer or you don't require to understand any kind of the programming language. Even though if the AWS or let's say, even though you don't know anything about the cloud, still you can go with the AWS certification. As I said, that will start everything from the scratch, right? So just now today you understand what exactly the cloud. I explained that. So I'll explain more whenever the session starts. Right? I'll also explain you that how exactly you can launch a different virtual machine, storages, networking, etc. So now let me show you here, okay, second, what exactly we are going to cover in a solution architecture. Wait a minute. Let me put it on silent, my bad. Okay. So now folks, here you can see, you can just ignore these part because that's a corporate. Okay. So now folks, here you have a total 13 module. Okay. So before I start this module, I'll explain everything about the cloud. What exactly the cloud, or let's say, no, what are the different type of clouds? What is the benefit of the clouds? Why we need to migrate from on-premises to the cloud? That I'm going to explain everything. Once we clear all the basics and once we clear the cloud foundational, okay, something, then I'll start, okay, actual start the architecture fundamentals, where you understand what exactly the solution architecture means, what exactly the job roles once you clear the certification, and what exactly or how exactly AWS manage the infrastructure. Because see, the cloud, it means what? It's not like that it's somewhere in the cloud. It means that they have some hardware and we are just accessing those hardware. Right? If you store something on AWS cloud, or let's say if you are accessing some virtual machine on the AWS cloud, it means you are currently connected to their hardware. So how exactly they manage the hardware or everything, that I'm going to explain in the architecture fundamental. And then I'll also explain you about the authentication. It means what? That is your identity and access management. So how exactly you can manage the user groups, role, policies, how exactly you can create granular permission. Because in an organization, you are not the only one who manage the AWS account. There are many people, right? Some of them managing the networking, some of them managing security, some people only manage the only for the databases. So you need to create a different granular control of your AWS account, and that you can control through your IAM. So first I'm going to clear that IAM, and then once we complete that, okay, I'll also start with the networking things. So in your AWS environment, or even though in your, you know, in your on-premises, you have the development account, you have the production environment, you have a UAT environment, database environment, you have a different environment. And let's suppose if you want to create the same environment on an AWS, then how exactly you can do that? So for that, okay, we are using the virtual private cloud. Okay, it also, so that I'm going to explain, okay, in the here, that's a VPC, virtual private cloud. Then I'll also explain you that how exactly you can launch a different virtual machines. It means that is an elastic compute cloud. So for an example, how exactly you can launch Windows machine, how exactly you can launch Linux machine, how exactly you can deploy the databases on those machines. So that I'm going to explain here in a EC2. Then I'm also going to cover the storage part. So in AWS, you have a S3, you have a EBS, you have a EFS, different storage option. So I'll cover the S3 as well. I'll also cover those points. Then we also have a relational database and non-relational databases, right? So I'll also explain you that how exactly you can work on these databases. So in traditional, okay, databases, on-premises databases, you require a server, you require some operating system, then you deploy your SQL, MySQL, Oracle, whatever the application. You also need to manage the license part. Then you also need to patch those Oracle. You also need to patch the operating system. You also need to create high availability. You also need to create a backup plan. But here in AWS, you don't need to do any kind of the thing. AWS manage everything. So your half of the work or more than half of the work is managed by the AWS, and you just need to start working on your different tables. That is called a relational database services in AWS, from where you can launch your Oracle, you can launch MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL, Aurora, these kind of the database you can launch it. So here also we are going to explain that how we can configure those databases. Then after that, I'll also explain you about the how exactly you can monitor your entire AWS, how exactly you can scale up. Just now someone asked the question that, okay, how we can scale up, right? Let's say you have some application and that application you want to scale out and scaling event. So that we discuss in the monitoring and scaling. Then we also discuss about automation. So till now we launch everything by manually, but let's say you want one-click deployment. That is the cloud formation. So you heard about the Terraform. So in AWS, it's the cloud formation. So there are many tools which are available in AWS that also you understand in automation as well. Then we also understand the container part, right? So we also have a container like an Elastic Container Services, Elastic Kubernetes Services. That also we understand here in a ECS and EKS as well. Then once we complete that, we'll also understand networking 2 part, where we'll understand about the hybrid networking. Let's say you have an on-premises environment and how exactly you can connect your on-premises environment to AWS, right? How exactly you can manage, let's say VPN, virtual private network, right? Or else you can also create direct network. So that I'm going to explain here in networking 2. Then we also understand about the serverless, where you don't require any servers. For an example, let's say you have some Python program. You want to execute that Python program. To execute that Python program, you require a server. You also require some apps, where you can execute that program. But in serverless, you just need to provide the program. That's it, and you can directly execute on the AWS high backend servers. So those services that I'm going to cover in a serverless. So there are many services. After that, I'll also explain about the 8 services. That's a DNS, how exactly you can create a website, how exactly you can manage the website, how exactly you can create DR in using those websites. Control panel, everything that I'm going to explain in edge services called Route 53. And here, I'll also explain you about the disaster recovery backup solutions in AWS. So whenever we create some environment, how exactly we take a backup. So that I'm going to explain in backup and recovery tools. So, and then we'll discuss about, okay, the exam. Okay, that is Solution Architect Associate, okay, C03. That we are going to discuss. So I'll share my lot of documentations, projects works. So we have a couple of projects. So that I'm going to explain everything in the last session. Okay. So these are the syllabus that I'm going to cover, okay, in upcoming sessions. Any question here, folks? Anything, any question, doubt you have? Any question, folks, you have? So Ajinkya say that when this batch will start. So the date is not yet fixed, but in last week, probably we'll start last week of this February, we will start the batch. Again, it is in tentative. Exact date you will get from the Aishwarya. What is the timing? So timing would be the evening timing. Let's say some 8:30 to 10:30 or the 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. something. So we'll work on it. The timing is evening. Then, and you are providing the AWS license. So no, AWS provide 1 year free licenses, and that is enough for practicals and everything. So that is provided by the AWS. We just need to create an account. We just need to invest or spend 2 rupees to create the AWS account, and then you can use it for 1 year. You got it? Ajinkya, I hope you got the answer. Okay. Next question, how long is the course and how many days week is completed? So I required to complete the session, I required 50 to 60 hours, depend on your question, plus minus. So maximum time is 60 hours, maximum time, right? Including your questions, everything, some discussion. So I need 40 to 50 hours for the class to explain these everything, and 10 hours you can say for the, your question and answer, depend. So total, it's, you can take 2 months, right? That it required. So migration of DB from on-premises to AWS. Yes, I'll share those labs with you. you need to perform those labs on an AWS account from where you can create homogeneous or heterogeneous migrations. Homogeneous, it means, let's say, SQL to SQL, and heterogeneous, let's say, MySQL to some Oracle, like this. So there is a service called DMS, Database Migration Services, and SCT, that is Schema Conversion Tool, that will understand here in database services, that is module 6. You got it, Rohit? Rita, I hope you got the answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Favor, you can ask your question.
Yeah, sorry. I think someone asked about the duration of the course. Please, I didn't get that. You said it's 60 hours. Is it per day or the
Yeah.
total? Like, how long does it extend to? Is
Yeah,
it
so
maybe
yeah,
2 hours a day or something? Yeah.
so we have a session from Monday to Friday, IST time, that is probably 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. or 9 to 10:30. These are the timings. I need at least 2 months to complete the entire syllabus. Daily 2 hours. You got the answer, Favor? Rita, I hope you got the answer now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other question, folks? No
Yeah, hi, this
question?
is Rohit.
Yeah, yes, Rohit. Hi.
Yeah, so wanted to ask, like, could you please reshare the like contents which will be taught for this AWS?
Yeah, so we will share you the guide. These are the contents. These entire total 13 modules.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want a specific guide, that you will also get it. Yes, Naveen, correct. The syllabus, but it's not like that. You just need to attain the session. You need to perform the practical. You need to make your hand dirty on the AWS because it's a huge, all right? So this is enough. If you complete the certification, that's the adding flavor on your CV. If you complete the certification, definitely you are eligible to apply a different services. I mean to say different jobs. So 2 months required at least for complete syllabus, 1 month to prepare for the exam, which I'll share everything at the end. And once you clear the certification, you are eligible to apply the jobs. If you are completely fresher, then we also help you for some apprenticeships, that also you will get. Yes, Satish. So, sorry. For the question in AWS, how DBA will be alike, a separate team like Oracle SQL, or it will be team to handle audit. Okay. So see, here as I say that, in AWS, you will find a different teams. Okay, let's say there are some teams who work on only on storage, correct? There are some teams who are only working on the, let's say, managing the infrastructure. Now, for me in my daily job, as I said that my main job role is to provide a security on different services like networking, compute, database, okay, some attacks, preventions, and also I'll help them to create, the secure environment. I have a different client, and I'm accessing those environment, and I'm building the solutions for them. So that is a completely different job. If you talk about the DBA, then obviously in organization they have the cloud Oracle DBA team, which focus on managing Oracle RDS, Oracle on EC2, or let's say Oracle Autonomous Database on AWS. There are some managed SQL server teams. They are using the RDS, or they are also using the SQL server, right? Then there is also open source DBA team who can also manage their MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, everything there is. So in large enterprise with very complex environment, they have the database team, right? I hope you got the answer, Satish. Yes, Riturani, you can speak.
Sir, as you say, you provide security on various things in your job. So, how do you get into this security part of AWS? You done certifications or any course?
No,
What you learned?
yeah. So from day one, when I start my journey, I was in security. So I started my journey with the Quick Heal, right? You heard about the Quick Heal, where I'll provide the enterprise supports. And then I switched the job where with the Qualys. Qualys is known for the vulnerability manager. So there, I came to know about these cloud, and I got a training from the AWS because my organization is now compatible to perform the scanning on the virtual machine databases. So there I'll start learning on the AWS 7, 8 year backs, and then I complete the certification until now because I have a background of the of security. Then it is very easy for me to adapt the cloud and the security. Got it, Riturani?
Sir, one more question.
Yeah, you can ask me a
In
question.
2025, like I have a little background of security, like I have started doing it, but attend one workshop related to ethical hacking. So, how is the job market in 2025
See,
about security for
so
fresher?
yeah. So recently we are came out the situation that is the recession, right? So in the recession
Mm.
was very tough, okay, for the Indian consumer, where there was a no job. I can say that there is a no 100% job for the fresher, but now slowly market is open. So in 2025, it's not like that you will directly get the job on a security, right? So first you need to understand the basics of the clouds, and I can say managing the cloud. So every organization, they are using different tools, right, for the vulnerability manager, or so let's say for the preventing the DOS or DDoS attacks. Your IDS, IPS, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention systems, net host attacks. So those tools which AWS provide to prevent this. So you need to understand that how exactly you can use the tool. So in AWS, there are many tools which is just a one-click deployment. But your actual job start whenever you have a reports in hand. For an example, there is a one machine, and on that machine there is a 10 vulnerability found, which is, let's say, severity 9, right? So how exactly you can fix it? So vulnerability tool show you that these are the 9 vulnerability, but how exactly you fix it, that's depend upon you. How exactly you can apply the patches, how you provide the fix it, how exactly you can perform the reverse engineering. That is your actually main job. I hope you got the answer, Riturani. If not, you can ask me more questions. That's not a problem.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There is one concept like cloud security. So, for understanding cloud, we need AWS and all things for compulsory.
Yes. So see, I just said that, okay, here, there is a special certifications AWS security specialty where you understand about the different solutions of the, so where you understand the different services in AWS which prevent the attack. But you don't know anything about the AWS, you cannot directly jump on the AWS security specialty. Now, the reason is that first you need to understanding how you can build a network, how you can create a virtual machines, what are the different security groups, what exactly the ports that you want to allow. So that we will teach you everything in the architecture first. That's the reason I say that this architecture is a backbone, right, of the entire certification. Once you understand architecture, it is very easy for you to understand the other certification. Same thing, you cannot learn directly machine learning. First, you need to have some basic information about the AWS, which I'm going to tell you in my session. Right? So even though I was working on the security completely, but still I prefer, or I'll start my journey with solution architecture. And then, as I said, I jump to the security specialty.
So, sir, this course is in online mode, right?
Correct, correct.
So, do you provide any offline mode course?
Aishwarya is the right person to answer. I don't have any information at the moment.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. So Ivan will, yes, Rita, you question mark, I guess. Yeah, Rita, I shared the answer. How do we get the recording? Yeah. So we have a portal, Rita. Okay, Learnomate portal, where we'll create a user once we have we took the admissions. You have everything. So from that portal, we can start the session as well, and you will get recording, documentations, everything centralized. So there is one also CRM learning management portal. So that you will get, okay, once you take the admission. I hope you got the answer. Okay. So even the session will be, I guess, last week of this, or might be the first week of March. I can say the tentative, but the folks from my team, they will tell you after the session when exactly we'll start the session.
Hello, hi, sir. This is Mridul.
Yes, hi, brother.
Yeah, actually, currently my role is Azure Cloud Enterprise Infrastructure Engineer, and I have around 3.5 years of experience. But I am interested currently in AWS. So, can I know that how this will help me in job search and switch? And I have already enrolled to
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So this is very good, right? That is because, see, even though in your organization, right? Now your organization is not only using the Azure, you might using
Ye-
the other platform as well. So there is a
Yes.
concept called the multi-cloud specialist, right? So if you
Okay.
have these additional informations, or even though I also suggest that you can also go with the GCP after once you complete the AWS. That is the, it create a strong profile for you. Because now what happened, most of the folks who is working, even though me, right, I recently completed Microsoft Azure certification. So in last June I started learning on Azure and GCP as well. Earlier I have only basic information which is related to my work, but now hence onward I can also apply the position where the organization using the multi-cloud. Because every company, they are, it's not like they are only go with the Azure. Because there are, let's say for example, virtual machine that I'm using the AWS, but for the container it might happen that for me the cost is beneficial for the Azure, so I'll use a container on the Azure. The organization use
Okay.
a different product, but it is very, if you search it, even though LinkedIn, you will also get that, okay, they required a person who handle a different cloud products.
Yes, I have searched it. Yeah, actually, and this course will take around 2 months because maximum openings will be currently only like in March and April.
Correct.
So it will take around April
Correct. Because I
because
need at
this.
least
Yeah.
50 hours at least to explain you everything. You're already
Okay.
working on Azure, so you understand that it is not easy
Yes.
that you can understand the product in one day, right?
Yes.
You
Yes. I
require a lot
completely
of
agree.
hands-on, right?
Yes.
So whenever we start a session, right? So I explain some, some feature benefit of an advantage of services. Then I explain you same thing on the product, because I'm not going to use any PPT for my training session. It is completely my
Okay.
whiteboard and the directly console. So whatever I'm going to teach on my session, I'm expecting that you can complete on the session itself. So that in case if you stuck somewhere, you have a then we can resolve the issue on the class itself.
Yes. I agree. Yeah. This will help a lot.
Yes. Because see, you cannot learn Instagram product, right, by just reading it.
Yes.
You require hands-on, right?
Yes.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
let's say the day one when you download the Instagram on your mobile phone, you are not aware about anything. But now after using Instagram for 5 years, now you can create the reels, you can manage the, you can read everything. Then you can also manage the photos and everything. How exactly this happened? Because you spend the time on the Instagram, right? And now if Instagram provides some update or upgrades, it is very easy for you to digest those update and upgrade. Why? Because you spend the time on the Instagram. It's the same thing. AWS is also the product where you need to spend the time on that product. If you spend it, then it is very easy for you, okay, to clear the exam and also crack the interview as
Yes, I agree. Hands-on is
well.
must.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Ruturani, go ahead. So that's my LinkedIn ID. If anyone want me to connect or you want to ask some question personally, you can feel free to connect on LinkedIn
Yeah,
as well.
please, just one more. Yeah, please, just one more question.
Yes, please go ahead. You can ask me any question. That's not a problem.
Okay, so this solution architecture, does it also cover knowledge about, because the other time I asked about application scaling and the like, does it also cover knowledge about knowing when to
Correct.
scale,
Scale,
knowing
correct.
the kind of servers to use for a particular product and the likes?
Yeah,
Does it
I'll
also
share
cover it
some.
in
Correct.
the solution?
Here you can see in module 7, right? I'm going to cover the scaling part.
Okay.
Got it? Yeah,
Okay,
Ruturani.
yeah.
Ruturani, you have any question? You raise your hand.
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah, tell me.
as I'm a BCA graduate in 2024, and I joined 3 months Python course. So, those Python can help me in this is
Yes,
AWS.
obviously, yes. This will help you a
Okay.
lot.
And I personally created a free tier account and all, but I'm
Yeah,
felt
don't use at the moment because see, it's not like that everything is free. So
yeah.
in the AWS, there are certain services which is a paid.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So don't use at the
So
moment without any knowledge.
yes, so I try to do identity access management
Mhm.
practical, but it I genuinely didn't understand anything,
Yep,
so I
I
leave
understand.
it.
No, IAM is a free service. You can play around it, but not apart from IAM, do not access any other services.
Like EC2 and
Yes, that is
anything
a
we
paid
can.
services. So without knowledge, don't access it.
Okay.
Any other question, folks? Okay, folks, in case if you have any question, you can please feel free to call us. We have mentioned a number. Rita say that one last question. So Rita, you can ask more question. That's not a problem. Will there be an interview preparation for the end of the class? So we have some session. Okay, we have a different session for the interview preparations, and I guess we also help you for to preparing the CV as well. Okay, we have a different team who provide these information. So we have a separate session on that. Great. So folks, if you have any question, anything, you can call us on 93254 08926. Number is mentioned on the chat. Please feel free to call us, even though after after the session, if you have any doubt, please feel free to contact us. If you plan some more session for the demo session, then I'm also going to explain you that how exactly we can launch those virtual machines. That's my next plan if we have the demo next session. Okay. So on this note, let's stop here. Okay. So thank you so much for joining the session. Right. Let's keep on touch. Do let us know in case of any doubts. Please feel free to contact us. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Enjoy evening and wish you a very happy weekend, everyone. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, Amir.
Thank you.